Hi, my name is Lynn Forte Richards. I have a YouTube channel, surprise. I was born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I have lived in 8 cities in the Los Angeles basin. I have lived in Benghazi in Libya and Tripoli in Libya. And now I live in South Carolina, where I have lived for 44 years. During my lifetime, I have been a student, a wife, a daughter, a mom, a mother-in-law, and now a grandma. I have had many jobs. As I said, I was a student for a long time. I worked as a phone solicitor briefly. I worked in retail clothing sales. I worked at a fast food stand in Knott's Berry Farm Amusement Park in Buena Park, California. From there, I went to be a waitress, then a grocery clerk, then a bookkeeper, and finally an accountant. I made it all the way to being a certified public accountant, which I practiced as my primary profession for about 40 years. I'm retired now, and what I do is tile mosaic, and I do gardening. I'm a master gardener. I have been, as far as my faith, my mom taught me the 23rd Psalm when I was a child. And then she took me to a Christian church. And from there, we went to an Episcopalian church where I was baptized and confirmed at age 13. From there, I went to a friend's Quaker church. I attended a non-denominational Bible college called Biola University in La Mirada, California. I met and married my husband at Biola, and we started our faith journey together. We went to the Evangelical Free Church. We went to a Brethren church. We went to Baptist churches. We even attended a Lutheran church for a while. We went to many non-denominational churches. Did I mention Evangelical Free? And finally, we came to Presbyterian Church. The Presbyterian Church is not for everyone, but for me, it has been the best fit, and that was 45 years ago. So I've had a long history of being a Presbyterian, and I'm not trying to advocate it as the one true faith or the one true denomination. I'm just saying that's what seemed to fit for me because of their tolerance for differing opinions in Christianity. I have been, as I said, a person of faith all my life. I am intolerant of intolerance, which I have seen in many, many churches and denominations and non-denominations. I feel as though the church is in kind of a trouble spot here in America. Church attendance is down. Churches have become increasingly polarized, specifically over political events. And the word Christian has become so generic that I feel like it's kind of lost its meaning. What does it actually mean to be a Christian? And so I started thinking about all these concepts, and I read a lot. I like to read. I read a book called A Concise History of the Catholic Church. And it opened my eyes to the reality that what held the church together for the first 300 years of its existence was the Apostles' Creed. The Bible did not exist until almost the year 400. The population was widely illiterate, with most estimates coming in at maybe 10% of the population being literate. There were very, very few letters, relatively speaking, that circulated through the new Christian kingdom, and few people could read. So when new converts came to the church, specifically from a variety of outdoor faiths, outside faiths, what we would call pagan beliefs today, there was a tendency for heresies to enter into the church. And the way that the church prevented this was by creating the creed. The Apostles' Creed, some people can date it as early as 90 AD, but it was certainly in existence by the year 200. And this became the central way that people could identify as being Christians and validate their allegiance to the Christian ideals and tenets. With that in mind, I started thinking about the current church crisis. Even people who identify as Christians today, most of them don't go to church. Most of them are Christians as opposed to being some other faith. So it concerned me enough, and I started valuing the creed enough that I wrote a book. The book is called Standing in the River. There's a separate video that will show you a picture of the book and explain to you a little bit more what's in it. I called it Standing in the River because it is true that people of the Christian faith are standing in the river of believers that came into Christianity 2,000 years ago. I stand in the river that is described in Hebrews chapter 11, where God's plan is for his people to fulfill his promises throughout the ages of history, which is a stunning miracle. The book is also intended, most importantly, to be a devotion. It is intended with very short readings on specific passages of the Creed to give you pause and think about what each phrase means and what it means to you. There's a page at the end of each devotional for you to add your own thoughts and your own scripture passages that might speak to you about this concept. I urge you to give it a look. It's very short. It's about 100 pages. And I hope that it blesses you on your own personal faith journey. Thanks for watching.